Application 0912 LLC, doing business as Forage, has applied for a new common victualler all alcoholic beverages license to be exercised at 5 Craig Circle. Stanislaus Hilbert as proposed manager, and hours of operation of Monday to Friday from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. and Saturday and Sunday 10 a.m. to 1 a.m. with a seating capacity of 49. Applicant is also applying for an entertainment license to include an audio tape machine, CD, computerized digital media that can be played below conversation level. Premise description: restaurant at basement level on Craigie Circle, one main dining room with bar, approximately 1,200 square feet. Storage in the rear, approximately 550 square feet. One main entrance on Craigie Circle and one rear service entrance.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Kristen Scanlon, Scanlon Law LLC. With me this evening and seated to my left is Stan Hilbert, Hilbert, who is the LLC manager, sole member, and proposed manager of record of the applicant before you this evening. Just by way of background, the applicant is seeking to open a new restaurant with an all-alcoholic beverages license at 5 Craigie Circle, which is the former home of 10 Tables, which was there for over a decade. Stan, who has 20 years of experience in all phases and facets of the restaurant industry, including being a general manager, sommelier, beverage director, and head server at L'Espalier. Most notably has worked with 10 Tables for the past 8 years as a critical piece of their team in daily restaurant operations. So he's seeking to open his first restaurant and share his vision and expertise in fine dining and wine and spirits in a small neighborhood setting. Additionally, he's excited to bring on board with him Chef Eric Cooper, who has additionally 20 years of global experience in the restaurant industry, from London to Madrid to New York City to 10 Tables in Jamaica Plain and South Africa. This location, as you know, is a featured dining location, and we're just seeking to keep it that way. I'd like to turn it over to Stan in a few moments just to tell you further about the concept he has in mind regarding the food and beverage programming. But what the board can essentially expect is elements of what he's learned in his experience in fine dining with L'Espalier, with 10 Tables, and I'd like to bring that same consistency and excellence in his food and dining programming, hospitality and service that he can bring to the customers, residents and non-residents alike, to Cambridge. As this is a new liquor license application, as far as public need goes, this is a unique restaurant concept in an existing, former restaurant space, but previously used as restaurant space, and looking to keep it that way. This is an amenity and dining option that the neighborhood has had for several years, and otherwise it would be shuttered. And it's an ideal restaurant location in a neighborhood setting of its size, where you can really focus on the culinary and wine and spirits expertise that they can provide to their customers. As far as jobs go, they anticipate adding 14 full-time staff members. And as far as the setting in the restaurant goes, what you can expect to see is largely how 10 Tables looked with a fresh coat of paint and some new signage, but they plan to keep the same seating, same tables and chairs, and just kind of giving it a little bit of a cosmetic facelift before opening. So at this point, if I may turn it over to Stan just to tell you a little bit more about the concept itself.
Sure, but before we go to
Sure.
Mr. Hilbert, I do have a couple of questions. I always mispronounce her name. Is it Craniac?
Craniac, yes.
So she is sort of giving a loan with regard to this transaction, is that correct?
Correct.
Can you tell me how that doesn't imply Section 25 of Chapter 128?
It's a private promissory note that the seller funded. I did talk to the ABCC about that, and they said that was okay to do, which he'll be paying back, which is laid out in the promissory note loan that was included as an attachment to the asset purchase agreement.
Okay, so because she's doing it personally and not through the license.
It's not related to the license, it's related to the assets, the furnitures, fixtures, and equipment within the...
But she has licenses elsewhere in the state, correct?
Correct.
And it doesn't imply that because it doesn't imply the indirect of a licensee on Section 20? 5?
She won't have an interest in this license.
Okay, who at the ABCC did you speak to about this?
Ralph Sacramone.
And in the description of the premises, it says restaurant at basement level on Craigie Street, and then the last sentence, one main entrance located on Craigie Circle. Is that a typo, or is it just, is there a street?
It's a typo, it's circle.
Okay.
I can fix that
Yeah.
and fax it to the board if you'd like.
Sure, yeah, that'll be great, thank you. And we do know that the seller doesn't really have a title on the license, correct?
What do you mean by that?
So on the purchase and sale agreement on 11A, that's on page 5, do you have a copy of it with you?
Of the asset purchase agreement?
Mhm.
Yes.
It says representations and covenants, and then it has 11A says title, and it says the seller has good and marketable title to the license. This isn't really the sale of the license.
Right, understood.
Okay, so I just want to make clear that that doesn't really apply, and that's not appropriate in this.
This says title to the assets, which I did go back and forth with Ms. Lynn on correcting, so it was corrected to just say assets and
Okay,
exclude the
so
license.
we'll need a new
Fresh copy?
Yeah, because this
Okay.
one says title to the license.
Gotcha.
Should be in there somewhere.
I can simply email you over a new one too.
Yeah, we
if
can
that's
just,
easy, just so
we
you
can swap that page if that's
Absolutely.
the only one that changed, that's fine.
Absolutely.
I saw it and I wanted to flag it
Right.
because I was like, wait a minute. And then Lucinda Hilbert has no interest in the license.
No, and I do have an affidavit prepared ready for her to sign, because I know typically the ABCC asks about that, but she's signed on as a limited guarantor to get the financing through East Boston Savings
That's why I
Bank.
flagged it.
Yeah.
Okay. But you do have her affidavit?
I don't have it signed, it's prepared, I'm waiting for her to sign it, but I can get that to you as well as
Okay.
the ABCC.
Okay, now we'll hear from you, Ms. Rowland. Thank you.
So I've been working in this industry for 20 years in Boston. I have been with Tin Tables for 8 years. I've worked in JP as well as in Cambridge, as a matter of fact. I started there right at the beginning when they opened. I created the beverage program there. I've worked there a number of times as film and manager for wine dinners. I know the location well. On a side note, my wife used to work at Craigie Street Bistro back in the day, so I knew that location as well really well because I would go there often. My concept for the restaurant is really to keep it pretty much the same as Tin Tables had before, farm to table, neighborhood restaurant, not doing anything too fancy. I just want to keep it cozy and with a warm neighborhood feel. Something really simple like that.
I do have extra menus, I think we submitted one of the application, but if the board would like to see some.
I did see the menu. Thank
Okay.
you. I'm not sure if I would choose one to see one. So you've never been the manager on a liquor license,
No.
but you have worked in the industry.
Yeah.
And I saw we received, I must state for the record, we received quite a number of letters recommending you personally to hold the liquor license, which was interesting, including one from Les Palier.
Oh, good.
Did you do a Trees Tuesday there?
I did those back in the day with
And you used
Louis.
to sing with the
Yeah.
song. I remember.
Yeah, I played my guitar. Those are the days.
I remember. That's why I went.
Oh,
When
really?
you walked
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I used to bring my guitar then, and the Wine Mondays too. I started that with Eric
Yeah.
back in the day. That's a long time ago.
Have you received the 21 proof training?
No.
And are you familiar with the rules and regulations and the laws with regard to the sale and service of
Yes.
alcohol? And do you understand that we expect you to stay up to date with those rules, laws, and regulations? Are you a Massachusetts
Yep.
resident? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yep.
No questions. Nothing further.
Anyone in favor of this petition? Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
Please come on up.
You
State your
guys
name
were
for the
already
record.
talking about me. Krista Kraniak, K-R-A-N-Y-A-K.
Wait a second, Kristen. K-R?
A-N-Y-A-K.
Got it in your first name.
Oh, I'm sorry, Krista, K-R-I-S-T-A. former owner of 10 Tables Cambridge. I sold the restaurant because I'm focusing on just the Jamaica Plain area, expanding my Grassford Burger Bar. Stan has worked for me for over 8 years, and I can't speak enough of how great of a manager he is. So I highly recommend it, and I'll miss him.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Questions and then comments.
If you could
Sir,
please
Kenneth
state your
Taylor.
name.
Spell it?
Kenneth Taylor, 2 Craigie Street and 23 Berkeley
Spell your
Street.
name for the record, first name and last.
Kenneth, Kenneth. Taylor, Taylor. The address is 2 Craigie Street and 23 Berkeley Street, which is across the street from the premises. Your application is correct, by the way. It is 2 Craigie, or it's a number on Craigie Circle. It is Circle is correct.
Right.
And it fronts on Craigie Street. In any case, question I have is, and I'm not familiar with the licensing laws, but when it says applying for an entertainment license to include an audio tape machine and CD computerized digital media that can be played below conversational level, is there a limitation on the decibels that it can be played in a license like this?
So the statute doesn't particularly state decibel levels. It just states whether it can be played below conversational level or above conversational level. But Mr. Hilbert can probably explain what kind of music he's trying to incorporate here.
Yeah, jazz music, nothing crazy or extravagant. It's ambiance music, really. So I'm not trying to make this bar atmosphere
Not
loud.
nightclub music.
No. No, that's not my intent at all.
Yeah.
No, it's more fine dining, like I said, jazz or maybe a little soul music, but nothing. It's more of a background.
Well,
Like the lighting is.
We've lived across the street from Craigie Street Bistro and 10 Tables
Sure.
the last 10 years, and there haven't been any difficulties that I'm aware of relative to their operation. They were not licensed. They did not have the license that you're asking for. Occasionally, people would come out late at night on their way out and make a little more noise than you'd like, but that's tolerable, and I'm not objecting to that. I just would suggest that since it's a residential neighborhood, which has benefited from having a neighborhood restaurant for longer than the 10 years I'm talking about, that we would welcome you. And I think the only question that I would have is that we would hope you would be good neighbors, which your predecessors have been, and that the noise wouldn't, I'm not sure what conversational level is, because if you go into a New York restaurant, it's a lot higher than it is in most. And I would feel more comfortable if anybody could put a decibel level on that.
Well, if you do look at, I'm sorry, I apologize, I wasn't really understanding where you were getting to, but if you do look at the noise ordinance, the City of Cambridge noise ordinance, there is decibel levels there.
Right.
And so there would have to be a measurement made, and I think the way it says it, I don't have it in front of me, so I apologize, but do either of you know it off the top of your head? I don't want to misquote it. Okay, so there you go, she can tell you.
In this situation, the music could not be plainly audible from 50 feet.
From
50 feet, which is not
50 feet.
very large of a distance.
Okay,
So if you can hear it outside, it's too loud.
okay, then that would be tolerable, that would be acceptable. And will there be any operation of the restaurant outside of the dining room?
No.
I mean, there'll be people coming and going,
Exactly.
and that's what has been happening. Well, I mean, I would support your application and look forward to, I haven't seen your menu yet, I'd like to see your menu, but you hopefully will see us visiting you when you open.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone in opposition to this petition? Okay, thank you. I'd say we take it under advisement while we wait for the affidavit
Sure.
and everything else before we vote on it.
Okay.
Everyone okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.